So we're trying to figure out how to start this. We want to wish ourselves a happy 20th anniversary, and
I think that it's like we turned around and all of a sudden it's 20 years since our first class in
right.
Zentangle, and it's like, whew, yeah, the kids.
How did that
How
happen?
did that happen?
Right.
We have to do something about this, right? We have
So
to.
we're going to give a little bit of a story and a welcome and a background and tell you like just some of the early things that took place and some of our memories, and it just literally seems like yesterday, but
I mean,
it's
wasn't it
crazy.
just yesterday?
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. And
That means we're getting old, honey.
no. So one of the things that a lot of people have heard and we've written about it is that, we had this idea, and when we had that idea, we went to Western Massachusetts to like
A bed and breakfast.
a bed and breakfast
Because
and
any excuse
to get away,
get away.
right? And, I think one of the things that is really, really neat about that is to let people know that, sometimes you'll get these ideas and how many just come and go and you don't do anything with them. And the one thing that we did was to pay attention to the idea that came.
Right.
And really took it seriously and really with a lot of care and respect. And we had a blank book and we went to the Western Bed and Breakfast.
Yeah.
And we just took dictation. Whoever wasn't driving was writing.
In spite of all the
Yeah.
people thinking that we were nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
we just kept going.
There was like this innocence in what we were doing.
Well,
it was like
it was also the beginning of our relationship
Right.
as well. Yeah. So there was that too.
So there was all this excitement and all these things were happening, and I just remember we were in this little town. What was it? No, not
Shelburne.
Shelburne Falls.
Yeah.
Shelburne Falls in Western Mass.
Which coincidentally, tell them about the importance of Shelburne Falls.
So Shelburne Falls is one of these places that's like, like ley lines and energy patterns in the earth. It's supposedly one of these central spots for all of North America. So for whatever that's worth.
And we just didn't know that at the time.
We didn't know that. We just found ourselves there. And it's really a beautiful place. This is
Yeah.
Bridge of Flowers and all that stuff. Anyways, we're going into the bookstore. We're looking at patterns.
Yeah.
We've got this whole idea of like how we're going to do it. And then one night at supper, one of us said Zentangle, and it's like, okay, that's the name.
Yeah.
Don't even remember who said it.
Yeah.
And
Well, I remember coming up with the word tangle
Yeah.
instead of a doodle or a pattern.
Right.
It was so exciting. We wanted it to have its own new face,
Yeah.
or however you would put it. So tangle came first before Zentangle.
And then we were looking at, because Maria's company was Pendragon, so maybe we put it together. Well, maybe Pentangle, but then that had connotations that we didn't want to go there. And so then somebody said Zentangle, and it's like, bang, that was it. And we're coming up with names of tangles and the whole idea of naming patterns, And I remember there was a couple with a young girl at the same bed and breakfast.
Right.
And we gave, actually our first class was in the fall of 2003 out on the deck in the backyard in Western Mass to this little girl and her parents.
I wonder where they are.
Right. So if you're out there.
So she's
hi.
probably 30-something years old
Right.
now, right? She was
Probably,
about 10.
Yeah. And so
if you're out there, give us a call.
Yeah. And we were like so excited, and just everybody, we're like friends and neighbors. We're just telling all these ideas to.
It was the way we practice our craft.
Yeah.
By
doing it.
Doing it with anybody who would listen to us.
I mean, one of the first tests kitchens, so to speak, was we had, Nick and Molly brought some of their college friends over, and we had, friends and neighbors, and we're like sitting in the living room and like, okay, here's this cool thing that we're doing, and we're telling people. And I remember one of our friends we went out to dinner with, they said, They go.
Yeah.
How did they put it?
Oh, well, so you're describing what we're going to do,
right.
and you brought out the little tiles and stuff, and he says, so let me get this straight.
Your business plan is to sell pieces of paper and pens. And
say, yeah, little square blank pieces of paper.
And
you said, yes.
And
that was the business model, because he worked for IBM, and he was a businessman. And how are you going to make a living at this?
Yeah. We're, for all these 20 years, we're still in the same place. We're still working out of our house.
We're still as passionate as ever. And again, anybody who wants to listen to us, we'll talk. Yeah. I'm not sure if we want to talk about this right now, but the way things grew in the 20 years since we started, it grew in a natural, what do you call it?
Well, it was totally organic.
Organic way. Yeah. We didn't force anything, and we allowed new things to come in. Just like if you had a child, you wouldn't keep the child at 2 years old your whole life. You let them grow, and you let them expand their ideas, and we had to do that. That's the way of life.
So Zentangle is almost 21. It's almost drinking age for Zentangle. But speaking of organically, I remember when we first did the tiles, we did this one class for the first official class was in 2004. And for IAMPATH, the International Association
of Master Penmen and Teachers of Handwriting.
And the engrossers and teachers of handwriting. Yeah. And Maria was a member there, and so we gave this class.
It was a calligraphy conference.
Yeah, and really, really crazy, awesome people. And you'll see in the newsletter here, some of the tiles that were a couple of the
Molly
tiles
just
from there.
found all these things
we found
from
these
20
things.
years ago.
And it's really, really, raw, early work. And like Maria was saying, we would do things organically, our first tiles, and you can see the back, the night before, Maria lettered it, and we're running it off on one of our copier machines,
cutting them up.
And then one of the tiles I had been working on, I left it in my jeans pocket, and we tossed it in the laundry. And Molly was living with us at the time, I think, and she took the laundry out, and in there was the tile, and it had these really nice rounded corners and it
deckled in the washer.
Wavy edges, because it got all mushed up, but the ink was still on there because it was really good paper. So we said, we're going to make tiles that have rounded corners
that look like that
and have a deckled edge.
Yeah.
And so we die cut all of our tiles, and just crazy memories. We got our first boxes with these. Not the first boxes; those are from Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
But then for our kit, we got these boxes from Nepal, and they were beautiful. But we were eventually having to work around monsoon season in Nepal, and then we would get them in various qualities.
Oh, they started to fall apart.
Yeah.
The first ones we got were beautiful, and then every shipment after that, again, the quality kind of went down and went down.
And so one of Molly's first jobs, we figured out, we could repair these, and we got a glue gun.
Hot glue gun. I was so destroyed.
All of us had burns, all of our fingers, but we're up till late at night, repairing these boxes so we can sell
for the kids.
And for the kids, and just lots of great memories, and and we're still actually a really small company. But a huge community. Yeah. And that, I think, is one of the greatest treasures is, we're having a blast. We're working with friends and family and our kids and in our home. But the people that we're getting to meet and the people that are meeting each other and the creativity that is coming through people.
The artists that are appearing. Yeah. I see their work and I'm thinking, wow, this is this is amazing. The stuff is amazing, and it's growing beyond us.
Yeah.
You know, like
as it should.
Which it's supposed to.
Right?
It's supposed to. Yeah, yeah.
And many of those people that were like blown away by, at the beginning, they thought, "Oh, I'm not an artist." And here we are, like, you know, this is just great. You guys are awesome, and you guys really are awesome, and we're so grateful. You know, that's one of the tenets of the whole Zentangle method. You know, we'll talk about that later and throughout the year, but you know.
But I think we're especially grateful to you,
Yeah.
all, everybody out there, because without you, Zentangle wouldn't have gotten this far.
Yeah. You know, and it was the feedback and the experience that we got from like giving, you know, free classes at the local bookstore, and the feedback that we would get was like, okay, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this. And one stroke and another stroke, and here we are, and we're talking with you, and we're beyond grateful. And that is one of the, or two of the steps of the 8 steps method, is gratitude and appreciation. So
there we go.
Much gratitude and much appreciation, and
to 20 more years.
To 20 more years.
I don't know
right?
if we can do that, but maybe Zentangle can.
Okay. Much love, everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.